I sense someone who did not like and subscribe. Greetings and hello there to all of my Star Wars children, near and far, far and near. It's good to see you. Make sure to do the liking and subscribing, and you're here today. We are here with another Dad Talks, and today I'm talking to Hobnail. Give us a hello, Hobnail.
Hello, Hobnail.
There you go. Very nice. Well played. Well played. So we're looking at we're putting our big boy pants on today to look at Hobnail's account in Black Epsilon. It looks like, see, I see you got Jedi Master Kenobi, and you've got a full Profanity fleet. What's going on with your account right now?
Well, the next big get for me is Jabba. If you were to look at my Hut Cartel, you can see that everybody's relicked, and I'm just gated behind signal data. So as fast as that signal data comes in, is as fast as I can get Jabba unlocked. I'm thinking within the next couple weeks.
Yeah, you got everybody's like Relic 1, and so yeah, it looks like that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
He's gonna be such a big ad, and I say this all the time, but he's such an important piece right now for any kind of roster. What
He is.
Say again?
He is an important piece. Like yesterday was the Smugglers Run 2 event, and every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I miss it. It's like you get a lot of mod materials, and I'm a big mod guy. Like I really care about my mods, probably more than the average player, and that event will really improve my mod income quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to getting Jabba for that entirely. And my guild is also doing Rise of the Empire, and it would be helpful to the guild to be able to clear a few more waves with Jabba as well. And of course, I love Grand Arena, and he's a missing chess piece for me right now. So it'd be nice to kind of get that chess piece on my board finally.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about you. So, we have never talked before in any circles. I haven't seen you on. Are you lurking out there on the street? What's going on with you? How have you come to the channel, my friend?
Well, I primarily consume like quote unquote television by just watching YouTube. I don't really watch like network TV and cable and stuff. I do watch some things on streaming platforms. So of course, because my interest and my primary hobby is Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I came across your channel, and I even remember when you used to maybe stream on Twitch or something under your name Nooch. I would watch you sometimes, but when you became Star Wars Dad, I just really enjoy your live streams and your content. I think your content's more geared towards newer player experiences, but in my account, certainly not a new player account. I started around launch. I've been playing pretty much every day since launch. But your content is entertaining enough, and I always learn a lot of things, and it's just a fun way to engage with the community.
Well, I feel special.
I do lurk a little bit. I don't spend a lot of time on other people's Discords, and I don't do too much chatting in the comments and stuff like that on YouTube, but I do lurk, and I like every one of your videos. Every time you post a video, I like it before I even watch it. I love it.
Obviously you're a quality person, Hobnail, so I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And I'm picking up a little accent. Where are you living right now?
Well, I'm originally from Georgia, the state of Georgia, and I live in Maryland right now. But yeah, I'm from Georgia, so I got a Southern accent for sure.
I don't really have the Southern accents down, but when you say Georgia and I hear you talk, then it just clicks. It's like, yeah, you are from Georgia. It's right there, man. So
oh yeah.
So you've been playing since launch. Have you been playing free to play, or what's your choice or your method of playing?
Right. Good question. So I probably spent 3 years completely free to play. I think I spent $20 when Darth Maul was the meta, on like enough to get him up high enough to compete, and then he stopped being the meta like a month later. And I was like, you know what? I'm not spending money on this game ever again, because I didn't want to like get into a place where I was trying to keep up with the meta, and like it just creates some bad habits for me. I didn't want to form those bad habits. But after been playing for 7 years and mostly being free to play, like occasionally there's a $10 pack in here for some gear that might be helpful. The last 2 years since Conquest became a thing, and I really got a roster that can red crate Conquest every time. I do spend $10 on that Conquest pack just to get the extra shards so I can spend my Conquest currency on gear. And also, because I've been playing for so long, it's not too much to ask for me to give $10 back to the developers. I mean, they've brought a lot of joy. This game has brought a lot of joy to me over the years, and it's not too much to ask for me. With enough, I got enough disposable income to give the game $10, but I'm mostly free to play. Executor was not quite free to play. When that one came out, it was hard to take first in Fleet Arena without it. So I probably dropped a little bit of money to get my requirements ready to go to unlock Executor on like maybe the second run. But other than that, I'd say my roster, 9.6 million GP, primarily built free to play.
So I think you represent a really large portion of the population that's been playing for a long time and just spending some cash here and there, and then every now and then they splurge for something, but it's not like something you're just sinking cash into on a daily basis.
Right. And by the way, bless the people that do, because we don't have a game without them. So I'm grateful for people who do spend a lot of money on the game, but I do take a special joy when I'm able to have competition and compete with people who spend a lot, right? Like I have a roster that can compete with whales, and that brings joy as well.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, and we don't say it enough, but it's for people that complain that the game, that the game can be you can do better with spending and everything. I think you have to realize that without the whales in the game that are covering it, the game doesn't exist. Games that don't make a bunch of money disappear. They disappear quickly or slowly over time, or they don't get any more effort, to develop them, sunk into them. Those games just go away. So you are right. We got to be thankful for the whales that they're keeping the game moving. I agree that 100%. So let me touch on something you just said. So you mentioned that the game has brought a lot of joy to you. So I'm guessing that you're a big Star Wars fan. What's your Star Wars story? When did you become a Star Wars fan, and how'd that happen?
Cool. I'm actually going to get to tell this story on and record it for the first time ever, so I might share this with my family. So I was very young. I can't remember how old, maybe 3-4 years old, something like that. And I got some Star Wars toys for Christmas. And then around that time, I believe Return of the Jedi was in the theaters as well. So I got the toys for Christmas first, and then we went to see the movie with some next door neighbors. And then I saw the movie. I was fascinated, like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I had the toys in this Darth Vader like case, like the shape of a Darth Vader helmet. A lot of people remember having that case, right? And then I went home and I said, oh my, I have all these toys from the movie I just saw. Keep in mind, I'm like 4 or 5 years old. And that was it right there. I was hooked at that point. And then later on, when VHS and stuff became a thing, my dad got the VHS tapes. Well, it was a thing, but we didn't have the VHS, My dad got the VHS tapes, and we sit there and watch the VHS tapes, and so that was a great opportunity to bond with my dad as well. So my parents got me some Christmas gifts, Star Wars toys, like a lot of folks in the 80s, and then we watched the movies. And then when I became maybe a teenager, started learning how to do websites and make websites. I had a Star Wars website, the Clone Wars. It was about the Clone Wars before like the TV show, before the animated series that we all love. Back like the one that was like the episodes were 3 minutes long. Though that Clone Wars, like back that far back, I had a website. It was very popular. And then we just kind of we're doing it for free as a passion project, so we just kind of let it die. But I've been a Star Wars fan ever since then. And one thing that I tell people when I play Galaxy of Heroes. One thing I tell people who don't play Galaxy of Heroes and who can't relate at all to playing a mobile game like this is it's basically me playing with my Star Wars action figures from the 80s every day on my cell phone. But I get to build those action figures. I get to pick which ones I build. I get to pick which ones I play with. And oh, by the way, I get to play with other people from around the world who are just as into it as I am. And I get to do that several times a week in GAC and every day with my guild. So it brings a lot of joy for me.
Buddy, I gotta say, I love your enthusiasm. That's tremendous. And I was just telling this, and what I did while you were talking was I brought up that Darth Vader carrying case on the screen so everybody could see it, because I remember that vividly back in the day. And I don't remember if I had one or not, and I was stupid and I sold all my figures at a garage sale. My buddy and I were trying to buy a go-kart, which we never bought, and I just sold all my figures. And my mom was like, you sure you want to do that? But yeah, I did. It was dumb.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think my parents got those action figures for me from a yard sale, because I remember them being used. Like I didn't open them up. Like they were just already in the case when I got them. So they probably got them from a yard sale. So thank you. You probably blessed somebody else, and maybe someone else is now a Star Wars fan because of you selling them.
Well, you have got, this is tremendous. I am enjoying your attitude is infectious. I appreciate that. I mean, that's a really positive outlet. I never have thought about that way, and I'm generally a positive guy. To say that perhaps me selling those and passing along somebody else, perhaps brought along somebody else to be a Star Wars fan or brought a lot of joy to their lives. So thank you for giving me that perspective. I'm literally 50 years old and I've never thought of that before. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's a great story. So you are of an age well, that's what I like to say. You're of an age as well. If you were born in '79 or so, it sounds like somewhere in that range.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a 40-something-year-old man who plays with Star Wars action figures every day. That's what I do.
I love that explanation. That this is, you're just getting to play with your action figures that you played with as a kid, and you're getting to share it with people around. I think that's great. I really love I love that outlook on the game, and I think that's a really good way of looking at it. And you're bringing some new perspective here, dude, and that's tremendous. I really, this is great. I'm glad I asked. I'm glad we got together and looked at this. So let's talk a little bit more about your roster.
Yeah.
So what about Inquisitors? Where are you on Inquisitors? I see you got Starkiller, Inquisitors, and Dr. Aphra. So with your mostly free-to-play ideas here.
Yeah, good question. So Inquisitors are a primary target for me. The next, like Jabba's right. Jabba's imminent. So any bit of Cairo that I have that's above what Jabba needs to upgrade him, go into Inquisitors. So I intend to have them done. Timing wise, it's hard to predict this time and stuff. But by the next time the Grand Inquisitor shows up, my goal is to have them all Relic 5. And because I plan to go for Reva, I'm not going to stop at Relic 5. I'll just get them all to 7. I'm at that place in the game where I can't afford to do it all at once. It just takes time, but get them unlocked and then get to a place where I'm helping my guild collect Reva shards. And then, so they're a primary target. And then if you were to take a look at like some of the Lord Vader requirements, a lot of them are at Relic 1 also. They've been at Relic 1 or whatever for a long time. I like to do that because it commits the Chirotech, right? Like, so get them to Relic 1, it commits the Chirotech. I can use 6-dot mods on them. So for example, my Bad Batch, they are mostly Relic 1. I think Wrecker's Relic 5 because I run them in 3v3 with Padme. But the rest of them are Relic 1. And that's not because I don't care. I want to get them to Relic 5, but don't have unlimited resources. But at Relic 1, I can put 6-dot mods. I can make my Echo as fast as anybody else's Echo in the world. And they can do work. So that's kind of what I do. Just get them all to the Relic levels and then pause them there. And then finish up whatever I'm doing, whatever big farm I got going next. And Jabba is just crazy enough. Jabba was closer, and I had to farm characters, and I was still closer to Jabba than Lord Vader. Crazy. But eventually, Lord Vader will enter my account. My goal is to get him by May the 4th, because I predict that they'll announce the next GL around that time, or maybe even release the next GL around that time. So it'd be nice to have all 7 GLs done, so that I can really focus on one GL at a time and kind of be quote-unquote caught up. I'm not as interested in Aphra right now because I have to farm the characters. I don't buy characters with crystals. I don't buy character shards with crystals. A lot of people do. It's a valid way to play the game. I just prefer to use my crystals to refresh nodes, for refresh energy and accumulate resources that way. So it takes a little bit more time for me to get things, and I'm very patient with that because I know the cost of things, right? And so because I know how much something costs, I'm unwilling to pay the cost, so I'll play it my way. And I feel great about that strategy because I don't spend as much money, I don't spend as much time, and I'm able to compete still with whales. Like the guy I'm playing now in Grand Arena, I haven't done my attacks. I think I got to beat 1753. I can probably beat this guy. He's got 11.2 million GP. I could probably beat him with the roster I have. I've looked at his defense, and so I don't need to have the newest stuff. In fact, I probably intentionally don't go for the newest stuff because the older stuff is working just fine.
That's great, man. I got one more question to ask you, then I'll leave you a little room to answer some. I see your TIE Interceptor is 7 stars. That's nice. TIE Defender 7 stars. Well done.
Oh man, the Galactic Chase for the TIE Defender. Once it became clear to me, like math-wise, that I could max that ship out, I just went all in. I did spend crystals. I was spending like 400 on refreshes, like that, like the last day, just to get it 7 stars. Because you've been playing this game long enough to know that ships on a single drop shard, like it takes forever. I'd rather just have that ship done. And my item was relic, so I thought there's no downside for me to have this ship.
I got one
farm
question
your
for you
ships, guys.
here. Wait,
Everybody, farm your ships.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 100%. You got to farm your ships.
Don't wait on ships, man. When ship nodes unlock, yes, you might want to get some more gear 12 pieces. I understand, but like commit the energy to get these ships. Like you won't be sorry.
Let me ask you a question here. I'm looking at your Discord moniker, and it's Samuel Jackson with a mustache, but looks like he's in a Jedi robe. What's going on there? What's that all about?
I think that so I'm a black man, and so there weren't a lot of black characters in Star Wars that like stood out. And of course, Samuel L. Jackson plays Mace Windu in Star Wars, and he's just a phenomenal actor. So I changed guild sometime last year, and I had like a Mace Windu avatar, but I just wanted to change things up, and I changed it to Samuel L. Jackson, just like in civilian clothes.
Yeah, he still looks like he's in the Jedi robe though. The way that he's dressed, that's awesome.
He does actually. I see that now. He does. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got the mustache. You're like, well, it's not. It's a different character, but it's the same character. Anyway, man. Well, what do you have to add for us? What can you tell folks? We've talked about I love the fact that you're serious about your mods, serious about ships. You're taking the game seriously, but also having fun. What a great positive attitude. What can you share with our community before we head out here?
Well, can I give a shout out to my guild?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I want to give a shout out to my guild, Black Epsilon. Wonderful guild. I joined them a few months ago. They've been awesome. We're crushing it and everything. We got TB tomorrow, or today, starts today. And then I also want to give a shout out to my former guild, a guild that I started. They're called Sith Reborn. Guild leader Tyrek, wonderful human being, a good friend of mine. We chat on Discord. We did so many cam missions together, streaming them on Discord and everything. So yeah, shout out to Sith Reborn and Tyrek. And then shout out to my parents for introducing me to Star Wars and making it possible for me to be a fan.
Well, Hobnail, man, I love it. I love your energy. I'm so glad I got to talk to you, and it's really good to meet you, and I hope you're having a great day. And yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, and I love this series. I hope that you continue to do this series, just giving people in the community voices and representing a diversity of account types and play styles. There's not one way to do it. It's a game. Have fun. Don't get too caught up with what all the big dogs are doing. Just kind of enjoy what you're doing. Follow Nooch's farming guides. I think he put one out the other day. Darth Loquater's got some good ones. Like you hang out with these folks. You learn from them. It'll change the way you play the game. Also, don't be afraid to get on Discord and stream the game with people. Play the game with other people. Don't be afraid. Also, I want to give one last shout out. There's a GAC streaming community on Discord. So if you like playing GAC with other people, you want an audience, or you want someone to maybe help you with different team comps or help you set your defense up, it's called the GAC streaming community. It's started by my man Keon. He's awesome. Join us. I can send you the link to that, Nooch, if you want to share it with folks in your community. But it's a great community. Some of the people that you know, like Calvin Awesome and Sanjita and some of the others, are hanging out in that community. So yeah, come and join us and stream your GACs with us. If you need some help, you're not sure about what to do, you got a tough opponent, tricky matchup, tricky counter with no experience, somebody over there probably has experience and can maybe walk you through it. So yeah, I wanted to do that too.
Awesome, man. Yeah, send me that Discord link. I will share it in this video, and then we can share it also in my Discord server too.
Cool. That's awesome. Thank you for doing that.
All right, man. Well, thank you for giving it to us, and what everybody, he shouted out his parents. He thanked his parents. I feel like I need to give you an Oscar or something.
Well, I mean, hey man, if you got parents and they love you, man, you got to be thankful for them, you know.
100%. You don't have them; they won't be around for everybody. So yeah, love your parents if they love you, and give back to them. And of course, and you can include that in me because I am your dad. So
you are Star Wars dad.
Hobnail, thanks for jumping on. I'm really happy I met you, and this was the best 20 minutes of my day. So. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you later. And, of course, always remember, Nooch too good.